seat. Make yourself comfortable. State your full name for the record.
Sarah Jane Love.
And where do you work and what do you do?
I'm a firefighter paramedic with Cherokee County Fire and Emergency Services.
What's your rank there?
Captain.
Tell the jury how long you've been doing what you do.
Well, I've been a paramedic for 28 years and I've been with the fire department for almost 22.
And what is I know there's paramedics, EMTs, and firefighters. What are they all and how are they different?
So there's an EMTI, which is like a basic, the lowest level you can work on an ambulance, and then an advanced, and then a paramedic.
And do you have a certain area that you work in the county, or is it just, how does that work?
You're typically assigned to a station.
You ever had to testify before at a trial?
I'm sorry?
You ever had to testify before at a trial?
Yes.
And you know why you're here today?
Yes.
I want to turn your attention now back to July 5th of 2018. It was a Thursday. I think y'all responded around right around 12:59 p.m. to the residents in this case. Is that right?
I don't have the date and times in front of me, but yes, we did respond.
Do you remember? Was it midday, afternoon?
Afternoon, I believe.
Okay. If I told you around 1 o'clock, any reason to disagree with me on that?
No.
All right. And do you remember where you went to? Where the property was?
Yeah, it was in the area of Freeholm or Alpharetta.
2155 Purcell Lane in Alpharetta, Georgia.
Yes.
Is that the residence?
Yes.
Just a little bit. Pull the mic in front of you, talk over it, and we'll be fine.
Okay.
And this was the Farris house, is that right?
I believe so, sir.
And was the house where you went and where all this occurred, what county was that in?
Cherokee County.
Do you remember what you got called out for?
We got called out for a person fell into a fire.
Just a person falling into a fire?
Initially, yes, sir.
Now, as you were heading out there, tell the jury just kind of what did you pack up, what did you take, and what did you expect to see?
Well, we responded with the fire truck and the ambulance. I was on the ambulance that day. We were originally dispatched to a person falling in the fire, and then it became a person down call, which means that they need resuscitation.
Means what? I'm sorry.
They need to be resuscitated. They don't have a pulse or not breathing.
As you were going there and going to the scene, what did you think you were going to find?
We were going to find a patient that needed to be resuscitated.
Like a person?
Yes.
Maybe just falling out or something?
Yeah, just from the information, he fell in the fire.
When you got there, do you remember seeing anybody from the family, a son or not?
Yes, somebody met us at the end of the driveway. The driveway was pretty long, so the guys on the fire truck were getting onto the ambulance with us to ride in, and there was a gentleman there at the end of the driveway said that he would show us where the body was at.
Were y'all there first before law enforcement, the sheriff's department?
I believe so, but they wasn't far behind us.
How long did it take you to get there from the call? The call came out about 12:47. Did it take you very long?
I don't believe so. I don't have my reports. I don't know exactly how long.
Was it a short drive?
Fairly short, yeah.
And when you arrived, just kind of tell the jury what you remember seeing and what was going on.
So initially we stopped at the driveway, picked up the, what we found out later was the gentleman's son. He was telling us that he had been in Afghanistan and he had seen burned bodies before and he knew what they looked like, and I was trying to get information about if he was, breathing, if he was alert at the time, or, more information about the patient. And he just kept saying that over and over. And then when we got to the house, he rode in the back of the ambulance. When we got to the house, he walked us around to the back side of the house to a large burn area.
When you first met with, who's going to be Scott, we believe, the son,
Yeah.
When you first met with him, when you were talking to him, were you trying to ask him questions to see if he would answer them?
I was just trying to find out what kind of condition at the time we assumed the patient was going to be in. If we were going to be working a cardiac arrest or just treating a burn patient, or what we were going to find when we got around to the back.
Was that because you thought there was going to be a human being there?
Mm-hmm.
And when you were asking him questions, was it his state of mind? Was he telling you stuff? Was he able to tell you things?
He just kept saying over and over that he knew what a burned body looked like, and I was asking more like, was he breathing and was he conscious, and he just kept saying he knew what a burned body looked like.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Go ahead. I don't have to ask.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Now, we've marked exhibits a little differently in this case. Instead of 1 through whatever it is, we've met and marked them by numbers. Go ahead and take those if you have a look at those. You had an opportunity to look at photographs before trial, I believe, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and look at those and see if those. Now, it's going to be labeled aerial, as in aerial photographs. Go ahead and look at 1 through 14.
Okay.
Are those photographs aerial 1 through 14? Do they fairly and accurately represent the area that we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Judge, this time I tender to evidence aerial 1 through aerial 14.
Any judges? No. I can do this.
Judge, after we didn't mind just publishing without asking permission.
That's fine. Anything we can do.
You should see on your screen there, this is aerial 1. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
If I look at the screen, this is just showing from the courthouse to the scene. Can you tell the jury about how long, how many miles it is, approximately normal drive, how much time?
From the courthouse, 34 minutes and 16 miles.
About 34 minutes or 16 and a half miles, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And Purcell Lane, what area of the county is that in, Cherokee County?
That'd be the northeastern corner.
And what is that? What type of homes and things are out there? Nice homes?
Yes, fairly large homes.
Expensive area?
Yes,
Affluent
sir.
area, I guess is what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
And where were you coming from when you went there?
So where it says free home on the map and Highway 20, our station is about very close to Highway 20 at that where you would have turned off of Highway 20. Our station's right there.
This is aerial 2. This is showing coming down the road, Purcell Lane, as you come down Purcell. And you, was the driveway where you picked up Scott, was that at the kind of right there where Purcell Lane is and the driveway meets?
Yes, sir.
So do you remember the long driveway going up?
Yes, sir.
So did you meet Scott down here or up in the driveway? Where was it?
At Purcell Lane. The fire engine's too big to get down the driveway.
Right.
So the ambulance stopped there, and the crew from the fire truck jumped on the back of the ambulance.
So everybody hopped in the ambulance and went up the driveway?
Yeah.
Aerial 3, this is just an overhead Google map showing the property is. How would you describe this property if you could say this is the type of property, this is what it was like?
It's a very large, nice property. Couldn't really see the house at all from the road, from the trees. It's a very large property.
We've taken some aerials about a year later, some drone photographs that you've been able to review. And this is aerial 4, so this is a snippet, if you would, from an aerial. Does this kind of look like the area that you went to on July 5th of 2018?
Yes, sir. I was more or less looking in the back, talking to the son. So I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to the driveway, but yes, sir, that is the...
As we look at aerial 4, this photograph on the left of the screen is this big long driveway. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
As aerial 5, as you move up the driveway, is it correct to say that there's a road or driveway that goes to the right to the barn, but y'all went straight up to the house?
Correct, sir.
And then aerial 6, is this an aerial showing the pond?
Yes, sir.
Is this the house behind the trees here?
It appears to be, yes, sir.
How about that? Aerial
Yes, sir.
7.
Yes, sir, that is the house.
Aerial 8, just another overview. Now, when you parked, and again, this is about a year later, but as you walk, did y'all walk around as where my mouse is on this item that's here, this white item? Did y'all go around this side, this left side, if you were facing the house?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
And then as you came around, did you come over to the back side where the burn pile was?
Yes, sir, we did.
Tell the jury, when you arrived expecting to see a person, when did things change for you? What did you see and what changed it?
As we're walking up to the burn pit, you could see some long bones. I saw a foot and the skull.
And when you saw that, what in your mind was going on? What were you saying to yourself?
I was trying to make sense of it. It's not something you would typically see, so I was like trying to, like the skull, I thought maybe it was a rock. So I kind of moved it a little bit and put it back the way I found it. And the foot, is probably what stands out the most is the foot.
What equipment did you have with you to expect to find a person?
So the guys from the engine grabbed the bed and the equipment, the cardiac monitor, the jump bag, and they were coming behind me, and me and the son were walking, a little bit ahead of them.
When you got there, what was found and what happened?
Well, when I saw the bones, I advised dispatch that it wasn't a person down. It was a signal 48, which means a deceased person, and then to have the coroner en route.
Did anybody touch the bones or do anything with it?
Only like I said, sir, the top of the skull looked like it may have been a rock, so I kind of lifted it a little bit and then put it back where it was when I realized it was definitely the skull.
So things changed from a person needing help to a body, basically?
Correct.
Remains? Is that
Yes, sir.
fair? Did law enforcement, were they quickly on the scene at that point? Did they come up?
Yeah, I remember them being right behind us.
Now, I know you've probably seen a lot of things in your career, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
But did this shock you?
Yes, sir.
Let's take aerial 11, just showing this is a photograph showing the house in relation to the pond.
Yes, sir.
Aerial 12, going back over the pond to the arena, the sand pit. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
13, just marching back down the driveway, leaving.
Yes, sir.
And then 14, just going back to the road.
Yes, sir.
But now, you've had an opportunity to look at law enforcement was able to do some drone videos about a year later in June of 2019. Did you have an opportunity to look at those drone videos?
I did.
Judge, at this time, and were those videos fair and accurate as you know the property to be when you saw it?
Yes, sir.
I tend to evidence now aerial 15, aerial 16, and aerial 17, which are 3 drone videos done by the sheriff's office about a year later.
All right, any objections?